Rabbi Lord and Lady Sachs, Edward and Orna Cohen, Professor Eliezer Jaffe, IFLA board members, and all our guests. We are very pleased to welcome you all to this special occasion for the Israel Free Loan Association, IFLA, in the esteemed presence of Rabbi Lord Sachs and in honor of Edward Cohen's retirement as chairman of the board. Based on the principle of Acharon Chaviv, we would indulge on your understanding and ask you to wait just a few more moments in patience before we call upon Rabbi Lord Sachs to deliver his lecture. My name is Joe Rosen, and I have the privilege of being the Executive Director of IFLA. I would like to briefly describe the work of IFLA for those of you who are not familiar with our organization. IFLA provides interest-free loans to the needy of the working population, whether they be salaried persons or small business owners. The latest figures published by Bituach Leumi and the Taub Research Center indicate that a large percentage of working families cannot meet their monthly essential expenses. IFLA offers help to these people in a dignified manner so that they can finance their immediate needs, meet the cash flow demands of their businesses, or expand the business in order to survive. IFLA can be described as a genuine recycling plant. It receives donations from private individuals and foundations, uses these to supply loans, and then recycles the repayments to provide further loans for the next applicants. We are thereby a source of oxygen for those hard-pressed to cover their expenses. Donors to IFLA of cumulative amounts of 35,000 shekel or more can open a named loan fund in honor or memory of loved ones or to mark a special family event. An annual report listing the activity of their named loan fund is provided so that they can track the growth of the helping value of their donations. Since its inception in 1990, IFLA has provided nearly 54,000 loans amounting to 900 million shekel. IFLA provides relief to borrowers from throughout the country and helps them to help themselves. We respond to immediate need. So, for instance, at the time of Protective Edge last summer, we immediately turned to donors in order to raise additional funds and provided over 350 emergency small business loans in real time, thus avoiding the collapse of many small businesses that had no alternative source for cash flow needs. We have helped many, but we are not complacent and know that there are many more that can benefit from our help. IFLA functions with a small permanent staff, loyal volunteers, and a dedicated board. Edward Cohen joined the board of IFLA already in 1991 and has been actively involved since then. He accepted the position as chairman of the board when the founder, Professor Jaffe, decided to retire as chairman, and Edward has devoted much of his energies and time, his family might justifiably claim almost all of them, during the last 3.5 years to promoting IFLA and nurturing it, true to the original vision of Professor Jaffe. One often hears in the non-profit world of conflict and dissension between the executive staff and the board of Amutot, but I am proud to attest to the fact that IFLA enjoys a partnership based on mutual respect and cooperation, forged in no small measure by the personality and efforts of the original chairman Eliezer and his successor Edward. I am confident that this situation will continue under the chairmanship of our new designated chairman, Ophir Ozeri. I would personally like to thank Edward for his valuable contribution to IFLA throughout the years and the harmonious working relationship that we have enjoyed throughout his term of office. I would like to call on Professor Eliezer Jaffe, founder of IFLA and president of IFLA today, to address his words to Edward.
First of all, thank you, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs. I want to share with you something I thought about all last night. I grew up as a young Jewish kid in the Midwest in Ohio. When we use the word Lord, we were really talking about the Lord. Now, I understand the British culture is a little different, but I just wanted to tell you I carry that with me because it's very, very prestigious. And what you have done is really, really, really outstanding. That's why you have such a large crowd. They've come to hear you speak. Well, I want to thank you for the opportunity to tell you about IFLA, the Israel Free Loan Association, and also to learn from you. Your visit has also provided an opportunity for us to thank Edward Cohen, which is my job right now, on his retirement from the position of chairman of the Israel Free Loan Association. Edward was born in Iraq. He moved with his family to London, where he received his high school and professional education, professional education, as a CPA, and he became very successful and very well liked, a very well liked broker and active person in the Jewish community. He immigrated to Israel in 1983. He earned an outstanding reputation as an investment manager, but also became closely involved as a volunteer in the Israeli nonprofit sector. When I would be speaking at conferences or attending conferences around the country, I usually saw Ed in the room. And I kept asking myself, who is this guy? Who is this guy? He follows so closely. His questions are so clear. He's very much involved. And I really didn't know who he was until I asked to meet with him. I was extremely impressed with his earnestness, his desire to care for people, and his conceptual abilities. In 1991, I asked Edward to become a member of the board of the Israel Free Loan Association, and only a year after the Israel Free Loan Association was founded. So he came in very early. We were founded in 1990. A small group of us who could not sit down and watch television and see these new Olim Ethiopians and Russians coming into the country with none of us being involved in that historic Jewish event. And so we got together and we thought about how we could help. We thought maybe we could distribute used furniture, have a warehouse for used furniture. We thought maybe we could have a food bank. We thought maybe we could distribute used clothing around the country. And then, of course, we came back to our own roots to the Rambam. And he said that if you give a person a hand up, so that he stays independent, and he's not dependent on other people, then you're doing the best kind of mitzvah, your best kind of tzedakah that you could do. So when I retired nearly 4 years ago as chairman, and I made it a point of retiring so that I could see and be helpful in the passing of the guard, changing of the guard, so to speak, and making sure of the continuity of the organization. That was extremely important for me. I have seen too many organizations where, when the founder passes away, the organization flounders. And I did not want that to happen. And there was Ed. I asked him to become chairman. He was the most obvious and natural choice. The board asked him to become chairman. It was a tremendous relief and honor when Ed accepted the board's request. And he has been absolutely outstanding in helping the Israel Free Loan Association grow and helping people, both borrowers and donors, to rely on the organization and to work with us. Edward's gifts are his warm personality, his love of people, his creativity, his Jewish values, and his genuine friendship for all. Ed, on behalf of the Israel Free Loan Association Board and myself and our staff and our clients, I want to thank you and look forward to working together with you for many, many more years. I also want to take this occasion, as Joe has done already, to welcome Ophir Ozeli as our new chairman. That's the continuation of the continuation. Ophir is the son of one of our founders. And so it's with great pleasure that I thank you. I've been given the honor to thank you for it and for being your friend. Todah.
Shalom, Bruchim Habayim to everybody. Wow. Thank you, Eliezer. I'm not sure I can speak after all you've said. Tomorrow, our parasha is Behalotecha, when we raise up the lights.
Raise up the microphone.
Tomorrow's parasha is Behalotecha, when we raise up the lights. Rabbi Lord Sachs has spent his life raising up the lights for the Jewish world in his own unique way, and has brought honor and pride to all Jews, whatever their background. We at IFLA are so honored to have Rabbi Sachs with us today. Thank you very much for being with us. I also want to thank my friend, Professor Leslie Wagner, who helped in facilitating Rabbi Sachs's visit to IFLA. Like all of you, I'm looking forward to his address to us today. Rabbi Sachs's commentary on Parashat Re'eh in 2013, titled Judaism's Social Vision, deals extensively with the subject of interest-free loans. It is featured on our website, and I urge you all to read it. Here it is. Like all of you, I am looking forward... IFLA has adopted this as our mission statement. Because of Rabbi Sachs's visit, the board of IFLA decided to choose today's event to thank me for serving as chairman for nearly 4 years. I would like to thank Rabbi Sachs and the IFLA board for this undeserved honor. I joined the board in 1991 when IFLA was still in chitulin. For those who don't speak Hebrew, diapers. I intend to continue serving IFLA as long as Hashem gives me the strength to do so. Although it has been a big responsibility being part of an organization that has helped so many Israelis in need with compassion and dignity. It has been the greatest reward that I could have been given. I thank Hashem for this privilege. Eliezer Jaffe, the founder of IFLA and my predecessor as chairman, has been my mentor and my inspiration. It has been a hard act to follow, Eliezer, and I hope I have not disappointed you. Our incoming chairman, Ophir Ozeli, could not be here today, but we have great expectations of him. Ophir will be inheriting a wonderful and dedicated staff so ably led by our Mankal, Joe Rosen. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Joe and his team. For all the support that each of them has given me during my tenure. Eliezer and I will continue to lend interest-free of course, every help for the future. Ophir will be the first Sabra chairman, and we look forward to making further great strides in growing the scope of our activity in the coming years, thanks to the continued support of our donors who make our work possible. Before I conclude, I would like to share with you a couple of stories of relating to IFLA. The first one is about a couple, Shirley and Naftali Solby, who read in their local Carmiel newspaper about an abandoned 17-month-old baby with CP who had been left in the hospital and needed a loving home. Blessed with raising 5 healthy children of their own, the Solbys knew this was an opportunity to give back. From the moment they adopted Shai, they believed in his ability to walk and improve. During the following years, Shirley and Naftali turned 3 times to IFLA for interest-free loans to provide Shai with surgeries, equipment, and the services he required. Today, Shai volunteers in the IDF, and the Solbys would like to give back and help others. When asked by visitors, whom they often host in their home, what they would like in acknowledgement for their hospitality, they encourage people to make a contribution toward the establishment of an interest-free loan fund in Shai's name. The establishment of this fund is their way of helping others as they were helped and in celebrating the miracle of Shai's story. Everyone is invited to help the Solbys to establish Shai's loan fund by making a contribution in his name or consider establishing their own named loan fund. The second story is about Leah Fahima, who experienced one of the hardest aspects of life, burying her own child. When Leah and her husband lost their 34-year-old son, Yehuda, to illness in 2008, she was at her lowest point, suffering from depression and in urgent need of financial assistance. She turned to IFLA for a loan to cover the cost of the headstone for their son's grave. Leah is grateful for the timely assistance she received. When she called the IFLA office and heard through the recorded message that there was a department for donations, she realized this would be the best way for her to give back. Today, Leah makes a monthly donation to IFLA, paying it forward and helping others in need of an interest-free loan. She has most recently taken a loan to help cover the cost of knee surgery for herself. We wish Leah and her family a long life of health and happiness. I'd just like to quote Leah. She said, "When I was at my worst point in life, IFLA helped me to get back on track. Everything went smoothly. I received the needed loan and was treated with respect, with dignity and with compassion. Once I realized there was an option to contribute, it was an easy decision to make, to begin making a modest monthly donation and enable others to receive the same wonderful assistance. Thank you for helping me right when I needed it." This is not a fundraising event, but if any of you would like to learn more about supporting our work, please be in touch with Judy Cerebro. Judy, can you stand up? So, is Judy here? Okay. Joe Rosen or myself, and we'll be very happy to share information with you. Thank you to all of you. Shabbat Shalom.
I'd like to call on Professor Leslie Wagner to introduce Rabbi Lord Sachs.
Hi everyone, we're almost there. It's a great honour for me to introduce Rabbi Lord Sachs. I've done it before. I have to say it gets harder rather than easier each time I do it, because he insists on doing a number of new things every time. So the thing with Rabbi Sachs is that you don't have to decide what to say, you have to decide what you're going to leave out. And I'm going to leave out a great deal because you're all here because you know about him. I do want to mention one thing since last time. He was in Israel a year ago. Since then, he's written a book Not in the Name of God, which is a theological critique and reasoned critique against the use of religion to support violence, that violence can be supported through religious terms. It is obviously a vital book for these times. It will be published in the UK next week, and it will soon be available. Conversation, through his writings, through his broadcasts, and it's not just the quantity but the quality of everything he does. He is the leading Jewish religious thinker today,